there's nothing here as we're together that you need to believe. You don't have to agree with. You don't have to believe that channeling exists, even as a thing. Again, all that matters is what resonates with your heart and what naturally in the field makes sense to you. In other words, aligns with your very being. There's no stagnation or chaos there in that most clear version of you. And the heart is this pumping, massive mechanism that's constantly inviting us. And yet, if we're not in a place of discernment, there's so much that human aching, that human grieving, that human pain. It's all sort of here, right? It's what I just heard was Grand Central Station. You get it all. You get the great sandwich, but you also get someone just urinated in the corner. But it's all like a beautiful mess. It's all human. It's not that you're numb to emotion. It's just that emotion is there, over there, but it's not here. So there becomes this beautiful spaciousness when we get into the channeled state where we step aside or get out of our way, right? So I'm hoping today that this is the invitation for us when we're in community. This is when I found for myself, because we can read lots of books, we can do lots of studies, we can do lots of practices on our own, but there's something about being in the field together and the invitation of knowing you're going to be in the field that already starts to naturally open it. Right? And so even as we're talking today, we're starting to get into that spacious place, some of us. I want you to share today whatever is arising that feels resonant for what we're doing today. What I'm saying is I don't want you to feel that you have to if you're not comfortable with it, because I know even though we're in a group of kindred spirits, it can be scary. And there is a divine timing to it, to the sharing too. Right? Part of what we want to do if we want to open our field to the channel is get out of the way. Yeah. And part of what is in the way is all of those old feelings that we've gathered from trying to fit in whatever circumstance, in whatever moment up until this point. Right? And we do, as humans, we agree to other people's stories. And as an adult, I can say I'm very independent, I'm this and I'm that, and I can say all those things, but if I'm really going to be honest with myself, I'm like, I really want to be accepted, I really want people to think well of me, I really want to be loved. There's a human version of me that has attachments. So if we want to get into a more open state, we have to learn how to let the attachments move through. I don't even want to say let go, because let go, it puts this expectation. I've got to be letting go all the time, even though I know we're going to use that language, okay? And you might even hear me using it today. But I want to say initially anyway, is that we put our hands up and we become the river. We allow it to all pass through. We trust that the winter is going to come and ice some things over that need to be iced. That there are going to be leaves that are going to go in some part of the river that need to be there so that it erodes the dirt beneath it so that a certain insect or animal can find its space there. The spring is going to come. It's going to rinse all of that through. It's going to create new habitat. But it is in the lack of trusting that we get in our own way. It is in the fear of obliterating our identities on the planet. Talk about scary. Your identity as a family member, as a mother, as a child, as a sibling, as an employee, as someone who lived in the United States or has this cultural heritage or whatever this is, right? All of these attachments, but today we come together as source. Isn't that wonderful? It's chipping away at you. In its own time, it's sculpting you, right? You're this block, and in over this human journey, it chips away exactly into divine timing. You're not behind at all. You're perfectly where you're at. Today is about kicking ego's ass. And, exactly. Because that's what happened. Our ego is so terrified that we'll fail, that we won't be accepted, that we'll get it wrong, that we're not good enough. You know, all of it. Oh, the whole dance, right? And then it is allowing ourselves to deepen that practice of being the conscious awareness of, there's that thinking mind of the human. You know, this is why we have to remind ourselves we are literally on a planet spinning in a universe. We are these tiny microscopic beings, but our consciousness is everything. Our consciousness is this microphone, it is this, it is the couch, it is the plant, it is our thought, it is the shirt, it is the air. Okay? All of it is consciousness. So when we allow ourselves to both, so here's the thing I hope over time you can integrate and embrace. When you can be in that place of being consciousness, you have opened a portal of love to say, this human experience is a beautiful mess, right? And it's okay for me to be in the mess. It's okay for me to look messy. It's okay for my life to look like a shitstorm, because that too is part of the creation of my being. And I will say, like, that has been the hardest thing for me. I want to fast forward it, my evolution, because I know, right? I know something's happening. Just let's go right now. You know, but I have to keep going, slow down. It's okay. Because in between that and that, there are these invitations for me to outgrow all of that old stuff. And Deb just worked with me in a brilliant way doing tuning forks yesterday, biofield tuning, and opened up all sorts of portals, right? So as I'm sitting here and sharing what I have experienced to be, I still need to be held in the space of look. And this is where, let's dismantle the ego, folks. This is where I'm asking someone who's also feels her vulnerability at times to hold the space for me when I feel my vulnerability. But when she's holding her vulnerability, she's able to bracket that. And it's not that it's not arising in the field with me. It must arise in the field with me if healing is to happen. It's just in that moment she knows I'm here holding the space for this being. In this moment she knows she's being held. So it's also about, where are we safe on the planet? What relationships are safe? And then in this moment of transitioning, remembering that your home, your body vessel is safe. It is safe. Now, there might be circumstances that you experience on a human level that don't feel safe, that many of us, I would imagine, have experienced abuse, trauma, etc. But there is a part of us that is unbroken, whole, safe, and fearless. Always. And this is what we're just trying to invite in, a little bit more of this, okay? There's no expectation for you to walk out like breaking down every hurdle when you leave, you know, like, and tomorrow all of a sudden you're a different. No. Welcome what you will resonate with today and allow that to be enough.